How many people have started the tables chapter 5? Okay. Maybe as you get your stuff up and running, you'll let me know if you have any questions about it. But right now, launch your computer. We're going to work together on 5G, I think it is. But I'd like to show you the home page. Let me turn the light down a minute. For those of you who haven't gotten further on tabs and tables, because it's such a hard chapter, right here, if you go to the week of February 18th, right here there's a video. You'll see there's a video for tabs and tables, and there's a video for the calendar that I didn't have time for last Wednesday. Remember how I said I wasn't going to do it? So there's a video walking you through it. You really don't need me to demo it. But this 5G one will make you hold your breath. Who did 5G already? Was it hard for you?
Yeah, it was alright.
It was a little hard,
yeah,
right?
It was hard to get the alignments.
A little challenging,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So pull 5G down from wherever you have it stored, launch InDesign, and we'll get started. Okay. We are opening 5G, assignment 5G in InDesign. And when you open it, when it says update links, always update the links because you want to make sure that all your graphics are linked. If they're not linked, they will not print properly. They will not convert to a PDF properly either. You may be able to see them, but what you'll see is a low resolution preview of what the computer remembers, the application remembers the image to be, but it will not print correctly. So then if you have missing fonts like this word seasonClearance, it's highlighted in pink. That means fonts are missing. It means that the font that's used for seasonClearance is not accurate. And right now it tells me what fonts are missing. So again, don't choose OK, choose Find Font. And you click on Find Font, and then it tells you what fonts are missing. So in order to find the font, you click Giddy Up, because it has that yellow warning symbol, which means it's missing. And then you can double click in that window, highlight that to blue, and start to type Giddy Up. And notice that the Giddy Up that's on my computer is called Giddy Up Standard compared to theirs, which is Giddy Up, which is plain. So now that I've got Giddy Up in here, you need to click on Change All. Just making it sit in the window won't convert it. So I click Change All, and that yellow triangle goes away. Then I highlight Universe 47 Light Condensed, and I can triple click in here and start to type Universe, which isn't showing up. So it doesn't show up when I type it, so I'm going to scroll down and see if I can find Universe, which is not in here. I'm sorry?
I got it offline.
You got it?
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
You couldn't find it. Oh, you got it offline is what you said, Tony. Okay, yes. If you can't find it, Universe Light Condensed is what's called a sans serif font. It's like Helvetica Condensed, Arial Condensed, Futura Condensed, Myriad Condensed. So what I'd probably do, because I know Myriad Pro Condensed is used in this document, I think what I'm just going to do is replace it. I can do what Tony did, which is really clever and intelligent and good for you, to get it offline and load it onto your computer. But otherwise, I'm going to select Myriad Pro Condensed, and I'm going to, there's no light, but I'm going to use that and hope that it's okay, and change all, and then click Done. Okay? Now everything's looking better. Now, what I'd like to do is I'm going to also open the, let me get rid of this. It's an updater. I'm also going to open up the instructions. So our assignment needs to look like this. And I always stare, what I do first before I even start a project, because I want to know where I'm headed. So if I blow this up, let's just look at what we see here. We see that this type is set up in red. What they're very focused on in this assignment, which is the the crux of the assignment, is the tabs and the tables. And if you notice, when you look at the table, it has no stroke around the boxes. This is all important to note. Notice that the type here in the green bar is red type there, and the word sale is a much bigger typeface than each and product name and item. Like, make these observations for yourself so you start to know what to look for when you proof it. Is everybody following me? The other thing I'm going to look at, let me reduce this a little. The other thing I'm going to look at is, this is regular condensed type for the item number, and the product name is bold condensed type, and then it switches to regular condensed type, and then the sale type is a white font, right? And it's bigger than all the other type in that lineup there, in that row. So I look at this stuff and I say, okay, this is what they want me to do. And you know, this is what we want you to do. It has to look like this. So no strokes, and then pay close attention to the fonts. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out, hit Command 0, and I can see that at 100%. And then I'm going to really follow the instructions on this, because it's going to ask me to do things that I'm really not that familiar with. So right here, it's telling you in the first paragraph that they've created layers in this document. So they're telling me they've created layers. So since they've told me that, I'm going to go look for the layers and see what the heck they're talking about. So let me shift this over here, and let me go to my InDesign document and move it over here, and I'm going to blow it up a little bit for you. And notice my type at the top is already red and set for me. So, and notice the type on the side and all the graphics are placed, so I really don't have to pay attention to that. We're just focusing on the tables here. Everything else should be done. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is go to Window Layers and see what they're talking about the layers. Okay, one layer has probably the graphics, and the other layer has the type that we're going to play with, we're going to work with. And this layer has a lock on it. We haven't introduced layers yet. That's, I think, your next chapter, chapter 7 or something. But a layer is locked means you can't do anything to it. And they locked it, I'm sure, because they don't want you to do anything to it. They want you to ignore it. But in order to make changes, you need to go to the copy layer and make the copy layer active. Because if you try to do things and it's not working and you have a locked layer, nothing's going to happen. Does everybody follow that? Okay. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's see what it said. It calls attention. It says most of the document has been built. You're going to format the table in the header. The document has 2 layers. While you're working on the project, you might accidentally click elements on a different layer. So if you see this message to the right, it says choose cancel. Okay? And then make sure that you go to Window Layers, open up the panel, and make sure that you're not on the locked layer, but you're active on the layer that's called Copy. All right. Next step says all the frames of the table are threaded. Threaded text means that this right here, if I use my black arrow and I select this text box, it's got a flow, outflow from this box, see it's linked, into that box. And it also means that it's threaded to the box below and maybe to the box below that. There's 4 text boxes set up for you. They've threaded it. You don't have to do anything to it. Okay, therefore, you should be able to select all the copy by selecting all and go to Table, Convert Text to Table, and accept the default settings. It says the table is going to be unformatted, and you're going to adjust the length of each text frame, allowing the text to flow so it's similar to the products that are grouped together, which means we're going to have to look up here and adjust our tables for these. There's essentially 3 products per table. Yeah? All right. So it said to, down here, there we go. It says to go to the table, you're going to select all, convert text to table. So that means I'm going to take my type tool, because when you do tables, you need to be in the type tool. I'm going to click anywhere. I'm going to go to Command A, which is edit, select all, and everything should get highlighted. And then I'm going to go to table, and it says convert text to table. And then you get a dialog box that says, how do you want me to break it up? And it does separate it by tabs, which they've already done for you. And each row, so each column gets separated by tabs, and each row gets separated by paragraph returns. That's it, basic table. So you just say okay, and it built a table for us. Doesn't look good, but it built a table for us. And now, since you've done something, immediately go up here, go to Save As, take the name of the file, add your last name to it, and save it in the 5G folder. And replace, oh, I must have demoed this last year, and I'll replace it, okay? All right, I'm going to close my layers because I don't really need it. Then it says, let's see what else it says to do. Okay, so we've created these tables. Then it says select the entire table, and it says to not stroke it. Oh, and it says adjust the length of each frame, allowing the text to flow that similar products are grouped together. We'll get to that. Then it also says select the entire table, enter 0 in the stroke field, and make sure all grid guides are highlighted when you perform this. So let's try that one. So first thing I'm just going to do is this. I'm just going to select the entire table. To select the entire table, you go to the upper left corner of it until you get a diagonal arrow, and it selects your entire table. You need to be in the type tool to do that. We're good? Everybody's good with me? And then when you click on it, it should highlight everything. Everybody get there? All right. And because you're in a table, right here is where it indicates whether you're going to stroke anything or not at the formatting control panel at the top. And some of you will get into terrible trouble if some of these are clicked or not clicked. So make sure each stroke, vertical, dividing all cells, all of them are active blue. Make sure everything's blue. If one of them isn't, you're going to create a nightmare for yourself. You don't want to do that. So you select all the strokes, and then all you need to do is go to the stroke weight, which is now defaulting at 1, and black, make it 0. And now it got rid of all of the strokes on all of the cells of the table. And because we did something good, we go to File, Save, and we save our document. All right, then we go next to see what we're going to do. Looking ahead. So now we're going to select the top row of the table, of the first table, and we're going to refer to the example, and we're going to change the column width and the cell colors and the type colors. It says the type sale is 12-point bold, and when, this is the tricky one, and when the top row is formatted correctly, we use what's called the contextual menu, and we convert to header rows. And what that does is each new text window's going to get an identical header row. So the header will probably appear on all the frames. Okay, so let's step through this now. So what I need to do is this. First off, I need to go to my selection tool, go to my top text box, activate it, and pull it down until I have 3 products in my top box. Yeah? Then I go to my next one and make sure I have 3 products in my next box. So I think I'm going to make this one smaller. And then I go to the one down below, and I have 3 products in that and 3 products in that. Because if we go to their example, you see how we have 3 products in each box. Don't worry about the header. How did I?
Like the first one.
The first one, I got out of the type tool, I went to the black arrow, I activated my first box. It's going to have 4 rows because it comes with a header row, and I just pulled that open or pulled that closed. That's all I did. All right, and once you've done that, save, File, Save, Command S. Then what it says to do, again, let's go back. It says to look at this and adjust our columns, our width, for each column so it looks like this, and it says color it like they want you to color it. So if I set this to the side here, let me set this up so it's narrower, and I'm just focused on my columns. And I go to my InDesign document, I'm going to make that narrower so hopefully I can see what I'm doing. And I put them side by side here. All right. And what I'm going to do is this: when you adjust a column width, make sure you're active in your type tool. Go to above the column until you get an arrow that hangs vertically down, because it's going to select that entire column. See what I did? And then what you do is you go to the side of that cell column and you get this arrow that goes in both directions, and you just tug on it till it's about the width you want it to be. And because you've selected the entire column, it's going to apply to the entire table, even though your table is going to 3 text boxes or 4 text boxes. And I'm just going to drag that over a little bit, and I'm eyeballing it. This isn't where you need to put it on the template. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look back on this one, and I'm going to see that, look at the top row, it's missing type. Can you see that? Oh, no, I'm wrong. There it is. It's good. We're good. And then I'm going to go to my last column, go with my type tool, go to the last column for sale, and I'm going to tuck that over because it does align on this margin guide, which is given to you right here. See that? So again, I'm going to tuck it over a little bit, and I'm going to go to the outside of the text box and make sure it aligns with this margin guide. You don't want it touching that beige block of text. And the next one that really I'm concerned with is that the line length for Veronica Billington Messenger bag fits in that one line. That's really my longest line length here, I believe. Yep, it is. So I'm going to, again, come here to my column, make it active, and make sure that one line, the last one, is able to print in one line. And the reason I wasn't so worried about you itemizing these for segments of 3 is because when we adjust this to one line, it all changes and we have to keep shifting it. So notice this is working on one line. Then I'm going to come back here to this one and make it reduced. And I'm just going to adjust it so it all fits within here, and adjust the sale one so it all fits all the way down. So you should be fairly similar to what I got going on here. Everybody doing okay? I don't hear anything. Is that a yes? I'm doing fabulous? Yes, you are, because you're done, right?
I'm redoing it.
You're redoing it? Was it hard?
No, I'm just redoing just to compare what you get.
With what you got?
Yeah.
All right, submit them both.
Yeah.
You'll wow John. All right. So everybody's cool with what I got going on here? Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to look at my sample, and I'm going to highlight the column that says sale, and I'm going to go to my swatches because I observe that it's red, and I'm going to choose the red color they gave you, which is a DS color, which means it's a match of a process color. And I turned it all red. Oh, I don't want to stroke it red. Sorry. No stroke. Open the fill, and we're going to fill it with the red. All right? Then the next column here, I'm going to highlight everything going all the way down except for the top line that's green here. Everything where it starts with Veronica, and with my text tool, highlight all the way down the column and make them active. So that was click and drag. And it's that yellow color. So I'm going to make sure my fill is active, and I'm going to select yellow to fill it. But I notice that there's a black stroke, which I don't want, and make sure it's none stroke. I don't know where that black stroke came in, but it's a none stroke. Okay? So now we've got that yellow. And then these, where the prices are, the each and the item, they're all that yellow background which shows through, so we're fine, or the creamy background. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take the type for the word item, and I'm going to make it red. Take the word for product name, and I'm going to make it red. And take the word each, and I'm going to make it red, because I'm matching this.
There's no way to do it all at once, right? You have to select each one.
If I highlighted it, it would highlight each cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a way to do it, but it's called paragraph style sheets, and we haven't done that yet.
And you could do it with the eyedropper too, right?
And you can do it with the eyedropper. Yep, but it was only 3, and that's how I chose to do it. And then the other thing is I'm going to choose my type here and make sure that it's bold. Myriad bold condensed. So here's bold condensed. And it's not going to take me very long to choose Myriad bold condensed. We could do Susan's way with the eyedropper. But what I'm trying to do is get all the little details I notice right now set up. Good morning.
Morning.
Bold condensed, so just keep at it. Let's see if we do this. Oh, we can. Highlight them all. Here you go. You can highlight them all just like I did, and it still gives you the font as a choice, and just go to bold condensed. All right? Much faster. We can. The other thing is, same thing, if you look at sale, they said sale was 12 points. So I'm going to highlight all of these for sale, and I'm going to make the font size 12 points for this column that's in the red. So it's 12 points. Notice it also shifted my type again. And notice this. This is super important to notice. Notice that sale is centered in the column, and they've provided it to us as flush left. So while this sale column of the red is set up here as we're going to select the color of the type is white, so we'll go to fill it with paper. Oh no, we don't want to do that. It's going to change the box. Don't do that. We were able to adjust the type size, but we couldn't adjust the typeface. And what's the other thing we need to do? We need to select this column of text. So I just selected the entire column. Actually, this column where it says each and this column where it says sale, they're both centered text. So if you go like this with your arrow, click and select both, click and slide over and select 2 columns at the same time. So I clicked and dragged right. Everybody follow that? I select, yeah. So I'm in my type tool. I come close to my first column each. I click on it, it gets highlighted, and if I'm pressing on my mouse and I slide it over, I've activated 2 columns. And now, although we can't see my InDesign tools very well, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to center them. I'm going to align them to center. See that? And we've centered the text. Yeah? We're good, right? Okay. Okay, so we've done that. Now we're going to take this type, which is white, and we're going to have to override it word by word. We can't select it all. We have to do it each one. So the last column that says sale is the font is in white. But it's bigger, it's 12 point, but I don't think they said bold. Did it say bold? 12 point bold. It says bold. So again, I can highlight the whole column, pro condensed bold. And now that I've told you, it has to be bold, right? 12 point. And it's white. We got questions going on here? Everybody's okay? You can triple click the word instead of clicking and dragging, and it'll become active, which is a little faster. And Gen asked me a question, is there a way to do it on all of them? Later in the semester, you're going to learn something called paragraph style sheets, and that will determine, it'll help you specify type based on a style sheet and do all this for you. Any questions so far? Okay, save your document when you get to here. All right, the other thing it says, so let me come back to this InDesign, this PDF. So we've made all our rows. We've made the column, that sale column, we've made it the type white, it's 12-point bold. And it says when you formatted the top row correctly, the only thing we haven't done correct in the top row is if we look at it right here, we have to make these 3 cells green. So if I click on this cell and drag to the 3 cells, hold my mouse down and drag, I need to fill them with green. So I make sure my fill is active and I fill with green. So it should look like that. And if I turn off, if I go to preview mode, I'm looking pretty good, right? Am I matching? Pretty close to matching. The other thing I need to do is I have too many products in this one box, so I need to make it 3 products only. So I'm going to come back to my InDesign document. I'm going to come back to my black arrow. I'm going to click on my text box, and I'm going to make it a little smaller so it jumps to 3 products below. I'm going to go to this text box, and I'm going to make it a little smaller so it jumps to 3 products below, and the one on the bottom is 3 products. Okay? Because what they've done is they've done this thing that creates headers for every text box, but you don't have to design them. It'll create a default for you if we do this right. So hopefully, I think this thing is magic. We'll try it. So now that I've got my top column ready, all my text is set up like it should be. Everybody good? Okay, I'm assuming silence is yes. Then it says, when the top row is formatted correctly, use the contextual menu and then go to convert to header rows. The header will probably appear on all of the frames, so let's just hope it does. So right here, I'm going to go into my type tool. I'm going to make things active. I'm not sure if I need to. It doesn't tell you to, but I'm going to make it active. It said to go to the contextual menu under table options. No. Contextual menu. Do we see it?
I think it's under table options.
I didn't see it.
And then you go to headers and footers.
Cell options.
No table options.
And then headers.
Oh, headers and footers. Did they tell you that? No. Okay. Okay.
I think if you right click and command, it opens the contextual menu.
Okay, you hit right click and command.
Yeah.
So right here with this active, you hit right click and command. Oh, I see. Right click command. Yeah, didn't work for me.
Yes, yeah, just choose the header.
Choose header.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just went to a different place than I did, yes. Okay, and now we get the contextual menu.
No. You have to select only the first row.
Only the first row.
And then you go right click command and convert to header rows. Go down.
It's
No, no,
fourth
no.
from the bottom of the main drop-down menu.
Ah, okay. I'm going to take a capture of this. We're going to need that.
Oh, we'll have the video.
We'll have the video. Okay, so that was a right click. But it was,
Did you go for the paragraph? I tried. Pardon me? I just tried.
You just kept trying.
Everything.
see, that's what that is the part of the book that frustrates me. So let's see, if we go to table, we go to table options, we go to header and footers.
On
And-
that one, I think you go down to convert rows
Oh, convert
and
rows.
then to header.
to header.
And then I'll do it on all of them.
Convert row to header rows. There. Another way to get there. Okay, so let's undo that. So the other way to get there was to go to table. Let's make sure this is active. That top row is active. We go to table. We go to convert rows. We go to header, another way, which is not how it reads in the book for you guys, which is why I wanted to do this together. To header. And then notice how it popped in a header in each of those text boxes for you. Okay, now watch what happens. Notice, here's what you need to notice though. Notice now we only have 2 products here. So what we're going to do is make that text box active, and we're going to drag it down so we have 3 products. Same thing, make this text box active, drag it down so we have 3 products. Yeah? And then save your document, Command S. And then what John and I are going to look for is we are not going to put this on a template for you. What we are going to look for very specifically is when you're in preview mode, we're going to look to make sure that your text here, actually notice that your text in the red, in the top one here, these look bold to me. And mine doesn't look bold here. I wonder if it'll change by default if I go to bold right there. Oh, look at that. It highlights them all. And I can now change this to bold condensed. So we're going to look that your red type is bold condensed in the green. We're going to look that you have no strokes anywhere. We're going to look, I'm going to show you 2 more things that's going to make perfectionists out of all of you. Because let me show you this page. So what I want to show you here is that there's no strokes on any of the tables. This line of type is bold all across, and that one's 12-point white. This whole column, the red column, is 12-point white. The item numbers are all flush left. The product names are all bold, black or red. The word each is bold, but all the numbers here are centered. Everything's centered for each and sale, and they're not bold. But the other thing is, notice that there's equal space between this table, and this table. So I'm going to show you 2 more things that they do not teach you that are super cool and fun, that are things that I use all the time. And Gen asked about this actually the other day. So here's my InDesign document. I'm going to go so you can see preview, and this is what I'm going to do. Let's see. My tables are all about the same depth. I'm not sure. There's a shortcut key, which is Command Shift C.
I think it's Command Option C.
Well, we're going to find out. Command Option C. There you go. Command Option C or Command Alt C, which makes this text box exactly the size of those 4 rows of the table. So you click on it, Command Option C, notice it gets rid of the excess space on the bottom. And the reason we're going to do this, I'm going to show you 1 second, go to the top one, Command Option C, is I have this table, this table, this table, and this table. Everything's great, except they're not equally spaced. So if I select all 4 by holding my Shift key down, all 4 boxes, all 4 text boxes, table boxes, I can now go to Window, Object Layout, Align, and I use this all the time. Make sure you show more options, show options. And there's something called distribute spacing. We're kind of jumping ahead to actually your next chapter where you learn this, but now you're going to learn it now. And it's going to equally space these text boxes between one another. And you just click, and they just shift a little bit. So there's equal spacing between them. It's not hard to do, and it's a wonderful tool. So pretty much, if we preview it now, John and I are going to compare that nothing is taking up extra lines, that your alignment's correct and your color's correct, and we've done it. Yeah, John?
Although we may not have to place this into the reinspection template file to grade it, nevertheless, good for the student to put it in there because many glaring things become obvious to you when you do that, and then you don't have to redo it.
Right. John has a template for you, not because he cares that you're perfectly aligned letter to letter, but that you notice that your red type is red, your green bar is green, by putting it in there. That's really what the kinds of things you notice. The scale of the type is the appropriate size. Your column widths are the right column widths. Okay?
You're
So
not
that's-
using italic face.
You're not using italic font when it should be Roman or condensed. So anybody want me to review any part of this? Otherwise, I'm just going to leave you to lab time so you can do your work. Yeah, Linus.
What's the font for the sale?
Sale was whatever the default font was, which I think was Myriad. Let's see.
Mine was different from the.
Mine says Myriad Pro, bold condensed, and it should be white, and it's 12 point. The entire column, the entire red column is that.
I believe that in the reinspection file that I made for this, I put the fonts in the package.
So you have the appropriate fonts for it.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions anybody want me to review?
I have some specific questions.
Okay, regarding this?
Yeah.
Okay, what are your questions?
I'm just having trouble with, the columns, adjusting them so there's always 3.
Oh, adjusting your text boxes?
Yeah.
So in order to adjust your box, so look up at the screen here. There's the black selection tool, your selection tool. If you open up the bottom of the box and grab the handle, it'll create more rows or reduce more rows just based on the depth of your box.
It's not doing that.
All right, we'll check. What other questions do you have? That's it. Okay, we'll come around and help you.
So this text is flowing?
It's flowing from box to box to box, yes. Renato?
Just the width.
The width of it. So to do the width of it, you use your type tool always. And let me show you in normal mode. So you can adjust the width with your column tool. So you get that type tool, get the downward arrow, and it'll select a column. If you want to change this column, I've selected it. I can make it wider or narrower.
If you hold down the shift key, it'll let you just adjust that.
If you
column.
hold down the shift key, says again, who practiced perfectly. And if you have that red dot, it means you have an overflow of type. But if you hold your shift key down, it won't adjust your whole table, it'll just adjust the one column.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You're in time.
Well, you're in the type tool. Anything else? All tables are done with the type tool. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video and